Rob calling in from New Jersey. Rob, what's going on?
Hi, Dan, and hi, John. Nice to get to talk to you again. We know each other. I'm the writer for Skeptical Inquirer who interviewed you before your talk at PsyCon.
Oh, yeah.
And I was wondering...
Nice.
At the present...
Nice talking to you again.
Hi, I'm glad to see you're looking good. I was wondering, at the talk, you mentioned a fantastic sounding video series that sounded something like God's Blunders, and I was wondering, what's the status of that?
There were two things that I talked about at the time. One having to do with not so intelligent design, which was simply a science project, mostly for kids, which talked about intelligent design and how, in fact, that intelligent design, it was to show how kids that intelligent design is sort of a pseudoscience. And it was to use the human body to say, well, if this is designed, this is not really well designed. And also a lot of other, species and, have design elements which are pretty terrible. That was one project. That project, I'm still having real trouble getting off the ground. As a matter of fact, I spoke to one of the illustrators today. The other project I was able to get off the ground, and that is that I was very interested in the 2005 Dover Intelligent Design Trial, where a group of Christian fundamentalists essentially took over the school board in Dover, Pennsylvania, attempted to throw out the 9th grade science book because it mentioned evolution, and to bring in instead the book of Pandas and People, which is about intelligent design. The reason that I found it so interesting is because I had gone ahead, as I said in the beginning of the program, I had Ed Asner and I had gone around the country with the transcripts of the Scopes monkey trial. Well, here was the next big trial about this particular subject. The difference between the Scopes monkey trial and the Dover trial is that in the Scopes trial, it lasted only 6 days. And that's because Judge Ralston did not want to have any evidence presented about evolution. He didn't want this to become a science, a trial about science or anything like that. It was just simply whether Scopes had actually opened the book to a chapter that actually had the chapter on evolution, and did he teach evolution? That's all he wanted to talk about, and that was the end of the story. But in Dover, Judge Jones said, no, I want to hear it all. Let's talk about evolution. What is that? Let's talk about intelligent design. What is that? Let's discover whether, in fact, there was chicanery when the school board took over, and they've tried to bring this book in, the book in, and on and on and on. That trial lasted 40 days, and my writing partner, Kristen Trevor, and I created a script, and we did the script. We wrote the script, and we performed the script actually at a Star Trek convention. I know this is sort of strange, but it was for the Star Trek cruise that had 3,000 people, and I'm sure that they thought that they were going to see a play about Romulans and whatever. And instead, they saw a play about the Dover Intelligent Design Trial. And I was going to immediately come back. This was the 1st of March, just 3-4 months ago. I was going to come back and go into a studio and record it, and then give it away, give it to the world so that they could understand what this issue was. And then the COVID thing happened.
Another thing COVID has ruined. That sucks. Yeah. I would want to see that. That sounds pretty awesome. But yeah, I didn't know you were even involved in projects like that, John. I'll be honest. When I was looking at and doing research for this show and stuff in particular, I I found your speeches to be pretty compelling, and I had no idea it tied so much to your career as an actor. So that props to you. That's really awesome that you at least are attempting to do projects like that.
Well, it's a very worthy project because what we did is that we followed a little bit the same notion that was done in the Scopes thing. Nobody, except for the narrator in the intelligent design trial that we wrote, except for the narrator, every other character who are real people who are alive today were all quotes. Everything is a quote. And so you see what the school board meetings were like, but we gleaned all of that from all hundreds of newspaper articles where people are quoted. We all, of course, the trial testimony where there are these explanations about, intelligent design. Intelligent design is in fact not new. It's been around for hundreds and centuries. But it's been around for a very long time. All of that is actual, real trial transcript and really what people said, so that an audience, when they began to watch it, they began to lose the sense that that I'm proselytizing, and they actually hear it. They hear it from the people who are religious. They hear it from the people who believe it, who don't believe it, blah, 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 blah. And they can come to an understanding. And what was terrific is that we would have talkbacks at the end. We did 2 shows, 1,500 people in the audience at a time. And then there was a talkback, and there was one person who, got up, and a very religious person, and she had her 3 or 4 people there. And you said that you can't be a scientist and be religious and stuff like that. I never said a word in response. It was other people who are religious in the audience who said, no, that's not what he is saying.
Yeah.
Did you not understand? That's not what it said. That's not what the trial was about. And what was so good is that it goes back to my ultimate thing is stay in your own lane.
Stay in your lane.
If you want to talk about that God created everything, you have a church in which you can do that. If you want to talk about how amoebas came out and the cell division and all the things that frankly are going to save us, hopefully, with this COVID thing, we have scientific institutions that deal with that. Let's not merge these things. That's why, quite frankly, we have 165,000 deaths in this country right now because people have not let those who handle disease deal with that. And we have politicized it with all this, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so everybody stay in their own lane. The kids can come and learn what the mechanism of evolution is, which has been tested beyond. It is the most tested theory that we have, and theory. It's not the word theory the way it's used in the lay world. It's a particular world that's it's a word that's used in the scientific world, which means an umbrella, which under which there can be all sorts of scientific facts that are unified. That's what theory means. So all of those things I think are really important, and that's why I ended up writing a play about it, so that people can hear it. Many people, myself included, there's a marvelous explainers. Just what is science? Well, science is a way of thinking. It's just a way of thinking. And where it has to be proven, and it has to be repeatable, and it has to be, on and on and on and on, so that at the end of the day, you kind of go, oh, well, you know what, this creates a fact that we can rely on. And so a lot of people get very, hair on fire about these things. And this play, this 90-minute play, allowed the audience to begin to sit back and kind of go, oh, I had no idea. Now I understand. I don't feel as fearful about it. I'm not going, Delancey isn't going to try to change my religious views. He's just simply saying, keep them separate.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your answer there, John. And Rob, thank you so much for calling in with your question. Cool to have somebody from the Skeptical Inquirer, calling in. I don't think that's ever happened before, so that's kind of cool.